Hi, Song. Welcome.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Fantastic. Who was that said good? Song?
Yeah. How are you?
Great. Just wanted to make sure that everybody else was doing as good as you were.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know we'll introduce each other. But great to see you guys.
You too. Getting all our screens together, and we will just give it a couple of minutes for a few more people to arrive, and then we'll get started.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Is there a sign-in sheet?
there will be very
Okay,
soon.
okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
How you doing, Miss Albertia?
I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm doing. So I guess we'll be starting shortly. I'll be right back on.
Okay. How you doing, Brian?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right. We were waiting for your sound to catch up.
Oh yeah, didn't have my mic open.
I think we've got a couple of more steering committee members that are joining. Layla and Kevin, welcome. We've got some more guests showing up. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Great. We've got a flurry of folks joining us right now, and we will get started. Okay, welcome everybody. Let's get started. Welcome to the August Steering Committee meeting of the West Oakland Community Action Plan. I am your host, Randolph Bell, and we just want to make sure that everybody signs in. Again, we've got two separate sign-in sheets. We have got one for the steering committee members, and we've got one for the attendees. And so I'll be sharing this a few different times. And please make sure that you sign in. Okay. So let's get started. So for our agenda, we're going to do a roll call in a moment. And then we'll have a welcome from the co-leads. Our exercise this month is a strategy tracking exercise. We've got a good number of guests who will be joining us today from BACMed, CARB, and then agency partners. Then we're going to hear about some of the town hall planning from WOCAP with Meet, the community engagement coordinator, and then there's going to be a meeting evaluation. What we're doing this month is we're going to start. You've all heard it before. We're going to do some meeting expectations and meeting agreements. Standard stuff. We just, want to make sure that we are communicating with respect. We want to be mindful of how much space we're taking as we participate, while also engaging, folks who have not spoken, who don't always kind of speak up. We want to respect our time agreements and stay on topic in order to achieve our meeting goals. So we've got 2 hours together, and we want to make sure that we get through the agenda, get through our exercises, and get out of here, as close to 8 o'clock as possible. We want to actively listen with an open mind, seeking multiple points of view, of course, especially for those who are a little farther apart from our own. We want to assume that there's good faith in giving and receiving feedback, criticism, and questions. We want to check for diversity gaps. We want to know who's meeting and propose a solution for it. So in short, we just want to play nice, right? So you all know that. And let's move to our welcome. And Nicole from West Oakland Environmental Indicators Project will do that.
Welcome, folks. We are really, really excited to look at strategy updates, which is the whole point of AB 617, and just happy you guys could be here.
Oh, so we're going to move to, we're going to introduce Brian. Brian is going to talk just a little bit about the civil protection of the people of Oakland ordinance, which EIP was very helpful in passing. We're going to bring this up at a later meeting, but if Brian could take a couple of minutes to discuss this ordinance, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you, Randolph. Very briefly, we've been working with the city attorney's office for about a year now. They have some really sharp young attorneys in their environmental enforcement division, which is kind of a new group created by the city attorney. And we were talking to them about all of these consistent business violations that happen in West Oakland. Some of you are familiar with the history of the Santos brothers over there in the Clawson neighborhood. We've had illegal truck yards and a whole bunch of other things going on. And so the attorneys at the city attorney's office looked into it. And they realized that the city attorney's office didn't really have legal authority over many of the city ordinances. Many of them, the enforcement lies with a department within the city, like zoning or somewhere else. And so that meant that the city attorney's office can't even get involved until a long process of violations and appeals, and more appeals have happened. So the city attorney's office brought forth this new ordinance that would allow them to get involved very early on and to enforce all of the city's ordinances. Most of us probably thought they could enforce all the city's ordinances already, but actually, because of the administrative rules, they couldn't. So this is really a big deal for those of us, many of the residents on this committee, who have been struggling with these business violations, zoning violations, local pollution issues, and we were always faced with up to a 2-year struggle with that. So now the attorney's office can get involved much earlier on, send letters of warning, just bring their weight to bear in those issues. I'll leave it at there for now. Thank you, Randolph.
Okay. Great, thanks. Is Kalila on? I'm sorry. My screen is a little small here. Is Kalila on?
No.
Okay, Kalila is not on. Okay, so we got a follow-up from the city around the environmental justice from the general plan update.
Alicia, do you want to go over this or should I?
Go ahead, Beth. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay,
let you do that.
so Kalila might be right now at the hearing because I think they're doing an adoption hearing that was supposed to end at 6. So she might still be in the hearing. But as you know, shortly after our June meeting, we compiled all of your comments from both the May and June meetings, in addition to other meetings we had had throughout the previous months, and put those into a comment letter, which is hyperlinked here. After I speak, I can put all these hyperlinks in the chat.
They're there.
And then there's a bunch of, documents that the city's posted on their website. So all of the comment letters that everyone wrote about the EJ and safety element, the staff responses to all those comment letters, and you can find their specific responses to our comments on pages, starting on page 30, the revised draft, and then the red line draft where you can see what changes they made. And then there's a bunch of appendices. So that's just reference information for you all. Go to the next slide. I don't know exactly what Kalila was going to say because she made this slide, but the one thing that we put in our letter, that was one of the first things we said, was how can this be an environmental justice element without referencing the principles of environmental justice? So the city has changed that, and those principles or reference those principles is now in the element. They added a public information campaign for residents living within 1,000 feet of a freeway to EJ 1.16. I don't remember what that exact action is, but I know that goal 1, all the ones under EJ 1 are related to air pollution and air quality. They updated the buffer between heavy industry and residential from 500 to 600 feet. So making sure that, we're keeping residents further away from those pollution sources, stationary sources. And then a new implementation action was added, EJ 8.40, which is hiring a third party to be explored during implementation. So I think that's related to all the comments we had about continuous transparency and accountability once the element's adopted. So, oh, Kalila's here.
Kalila's here.
Oh, good. Kalila, I just, let's see if she can hear me yet. Kalila, can you hear us?
Hi, sorry
Hi.
it's late.
I know I was assuming you were still at the hearing. I just went
Yeah.
through your slide because we were not sure when you were going to show up, but I literally just finished the last bullet. So if you would like
Okay.
to elaborate, I pretty much just read what was here. So if you have more interesting detail you want to add, I'll hand it off to you.
I don't think I have any more interesting detail, but if there were any questions about the items, I would be happy to answer them.
That would be great. Are there any questions? We've got a little time here. Are there any questions for Kalila now that we have her here on the key changes in the new environmental justice element?
My hand is up.
I'm getting there. Miss Margaret, and then Alicia.
Yes, I would like to explain the new implementation of bullet 4. Where did they come from?
Oh, about bullet
Kalila?
4? Okay, so that bullet was in response to one of the comments in the WOCAP letter that was asked for a more detailed overview about the implementation plan and allocating funding or hiring a trusted third-party evaluator for review of implementation. And so in the revised EJ element, we did add a specific action about implementation that talks about, lays out a time frame for reporting biannually and creating a system that is online and accessible for community partners. And then the comment about hiring a third-party reviewer is something that is not in the action, but will be explored during the implementation phase.
All right, thank you.
Is that good?
You're welcome.
All right, and how did the planning commission go?
You know, it's still going. They just still going. A lot of questions and comments about the zoning amendments.
But it seemed like it was moving along, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Any Beth, you want to chime in?
Were there any other kind of changes of note that we might not have suggested, but some of the other comment letters influence that kind of make any big moves, big changes for West Oakland air quality and health and equity?
There were some comments regarding exploring more green infrastructure solutions and nature-based solutions when it comes towards air quality, sort of like along freeways and along like industrial areas that were incorporated, that not specifically in your letter, but were in some other letters. I think maybe those are maybe some of the big changes around air quality. There were some others about creating a greenway network, which I guess is air quality related, that came from a different comment letter that was a new action. Some more comments about I think not air quality related, but about mental health education and resources that was added as a both a public safety and an environmental justice concern. And some changes regarding creating more explicit language about where community partners will be partnering with specific actions and policies.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Any additional questions, comments? You guys got it under control. Okay, great.
Randolph, I would just say I always want to remind the committee this is the result of our work, result of all your work, right? Writing the letters, advising on the letters, Beth's work writing all these letters, Nicole's work developing these things, but it really comes down to these are community influences over a very, this is the blueprint for the city. And I don't want to ever forget that that's what we're achieving here. This is really big stuff. And thank you to everyone who's been working on it.
Great, thanks. Thanks to all. Thank you for the comments, Brian. So we're moving right along. We're going to move to the strategies. So
Okay, thanks, Randolph. And that kind of puts us at a point in the agenda where we're close to introducing our invited guests. And so I'm wondering if we want to do a quick roll call of the steering committee, just so we can kind of, orientate the group to the steering committee.
steering committee members.
Good idea.
And we actually should have, my fault, I should have done that roll call, but we were still rolling in at the time. A roll call on the steering committee members. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Alicia. I'm with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District and part of the co-lead team for the implementation of this plan.
How about Ms. Alverdia?
Hello, I am Alverdia Owens, and I'm a member of the steering committee and also a member of the community. I've been here for 35 years.
Next. I think Kevin.
Might be helpful if you just call the
Sure.
roll, Ron.
Yes.
Well, I'll go ahead since you called me out. I'm Kevin Cruson. I'm here representing Caltrans.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go through and we'll go through the roll without the folks who have already signed in. You just give me a moment. All right, is Bill Abudi?
I am here. Good evening. Bill Abudi with AB Trucking. I'm at the port and we do trucking.
Great. Lori Ariola or Amy Tharp?
Hi, good evening all. Laura Ariola, Port of Oakland Community Affairs Steering Committee member. I'm also accompanied by my colleague Brandon Reed, where we will both be double teaming out and tagging on the report out on the strategies today. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Brent Bucknam, Reverend Ambrose Carroll, Bridget Cook, Richard Grow. We have heard from Kalila, Matt Heft, Sony Johnson.
Hi, can you see me? My name is Rebecca Overacre. I'm here for Matt Heft with East Bay Municipal Utility District in the wastewater department.
I'm sorry, Rebecca, tell me your last name.
Overacre, Overacre.
Great.
Standing in for Matt Heft this month. Thank you.
Great. You get a check mark for
Okay.
Matt. Tamara White.
Yes, I'm Tamara White. I'm the GoPort Public Information Officer. And I live in West Oakland in Prescott.
Great. Colin or Selena from ODOT.
I'm Kathy DeLuca from OakDOT. My colleagues are Colin and Selena, and I'm here for them tonight.
All right. Thank you. Get your check mark for ODOT. Fern or Maria?
Yeah, hi. I'm Fern with Environmental Defense Fund. I'm an Oakland resident, although I don't live in West Oakland, but EDF has been working with WOE for the past 7 years on air pollution issues. Thanks.
Great. And is Maria here also?
I'm not sure. She sometimes joins, but she might join a little later.
Oh, she's trying to join right now. David. Robert.
I'm not sure if you said David Moore. Was that accurate?
We're
Sorry.
just going through steering committee members now, and we'll get to all the guests.
Okay,
next.
thank you.
And Richard Grow just showed up.
Yes. Robert. I'm sorry, Richard. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Sorry, I was late signing on. Richard Grow. I think I'm a member of the steering committee, retired from US EPA a few years ago, and still working as much as I can with West Oakland and other communities. Thank you.
Richard, I can confirm that you are a member of the steering committee.
Thank you.
Russ never sleeps, Richard.
I can testify to that. Yeah.
And did I called Robert And then Layla, I know Layla is here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Layla?
good evening. Layla from West Oakland Health, a community health center headquartered in West Oakland.
Great. All right, Alicia, you want to take it back over? You can do intros to our guests.
Not right away, but it will. Yeah, it's coming. So thank you so much for that pause. So I'm going to take over the brief part of the presentation to talk about the reason we're all here tonight. Well, one of the big reasons we're here, which is to talk about the progress on the WOCAP strategies. So there are about 107 strategies, and you can advance to the next slide, please. Next, yeah, there you go. So there, like I said, there are about 107 strategies in the WOCAP, and they are all in service of reducing disparities in exposure to air pollution. And there we have targets related to diesel particulate matter. We have targets related to fine particulate matter and cancer risk. And so, you know, kind of nasty stuff that has some real health implications. And so we are all working diligently to improve outcomes related to health to reduce air quality disparities. And so one of the things that's important to kind of keep in mind is that evaluation is a central component of environmental justice. It's a way to promote accountability, and it's a way to check in on progress. And so that's why we're here tonight, and we've invited a number of guests. And so thank you to everyone who came tonight. And so we want to make sure that we, you know, that we are transparent and kind of forthcoming with how things are going. Next slide, please. And so there are some links here to the kind of a summary of some of the strategy updates, as well as the strategy tracking spreadsheet. So I'll let you all, you know, kind of look at that. And mostly that's for the steering committee and members of the community. You know, ideally, you know, you saw this ahead of time and can come to this meeting and have some, you know, kind of discourse, have some discussion with our invited guests. Our guests come from the various agencies and including the Air District, who are responsible for the majority of the implementation of these strategies. Next slide, please. So the way that we have approached the kind of tracking update is to kind of ask all of these partner agencies for their kind of qualitative updates. Okay, so we have a spreadsheet, it has all the strategies. We also ask them for their notable accomplishments. What are they particularly proud of? What, you know, kind of obstacles were they able to overcome to kind of push for the advancement of the WOCAP. And so we then kind of, you know, reviewed all of those updates and categorized updates into kind of our notable accomplishments and like slow progress and haven't been started. So that's sort of how we have categorized all of those updates. And then we bring it to the steering committee to review and to see how they want, you know, whether or not, and then to talk with our, you know, our invited guests, our agency representatives, to see if there are any avenues for our community to be able to champion or otherwise provide support to our agencies who are working on these strategies. And then in terms of the kind of conclusion of this phase, we will have a meeting with the BACMed Community Equity, Health and Justice Committee. And that is, you know, BACMed is responsible for actually implementing WOCAP. So they, you know, the California Air Resources Board has given CARB this kind of mandate to complete this plan, okay? And then the report will be submitted to CARB in October. And this is part of 2 times that we kind of check in on the strategy, on the status of our strategies. So we do this semi-annually, okay? And so that's kind of the process. And then just a note here, if you go to the next slide, please, on the kind of who's working on these strategies. This is, you know, kind of just a visual to see how many agencies are responsible or involved in implementing the WOCAP strategies. So on the slide, or excuse me, the side of the screen that has the yellow table represents the Air District strategies. And so within the Air District, there are various divisions. Okay, we have our grants folks, we have compliance and enforcement, we have folks that are working on rules related to refineries and other industrial activities. We have our folks who are involved in modeling, we have engineering. And so each of those kind of divisions is involved and has responsibility for WOCAP strategies. The other side of the table, the pink table, has our partner agencies. And so we have kind of the name of the agency and the number of strategies that are assigned to them. And so as you can see, CARB has a significant amount of strategies, and so does the city of Oakland. And then we have also the Port of Oakland. And just, kind of anecdotally, we have tremendous participation from both, the Air District divisions and our partner agencies. So very, very appreciative of that. And we're going to kind of get more into that tonight. So if you can advance to the next slide. We wanted to provide a little bit more information about the Air District divisions and how the Air District is arranged. Because part of what we want to do tonight is build relationships. We want you all to know, who from the Air District is really involved in these strategies. And so if you go to the next slide, that's a blow up basically of the previous slide. And so you can see that we have various technical divisions that are involved in the implementation of WOCAP. And so we have in pink the directors and the executive officers who are here. And I would also like to just mention that Veronica Edie is here tonight. Thank you very much. And also Suma Pisapati is here tonight. So thank you very much for being here, in addition to Diane, who is my, kind of my partner in the BACMed work, as well as many other BACMed staff who are here tonight. So, but they're all going to introduce themselves soon. And so, again, a lot of different divisions who are involved, and now you can put names and faces to the work. Next slide, please. I'll transition over to Beth.
Okay, so tonight, go to the next slide, please, Randolph. We are gonna do a little bit of grounding and overview, getting oriented to things as a big group, but then we wanted to get into smaller groups because we really designed tonight's meeting to create more opportunities for casual discussion and relationship building between our steering committee members, and other members of the public who've come to attend, and all the agency representatives who are taking out time on their evening to be here with us. And we really appreciate that. So we're going to have two breakout groups. The first one will have staff from the BACMed and CARB. And the second room will have staff from all the other partner agencies, which were in that pink table. So we have people here tonight from OCDOT, Economic and Workforce Development, Urban Forestry, all from the city, and then OEHA, Caltrans, and the Port. So half of the participants, everyone else, will be in room 1. The other half will be in room 2. And then after 20 minutes, we'll switch. So everyone will get time with both sets of speakers. Go to the next slide. And so in those rooms, we really want to be able to do two things. One is celebrate the successes, because we were truly impressed when we looked at everyone's updates. For those of you who haven't looked at the spreadsheet yet, there's a lot of action happening on a lot of our strategies in the WOCAP. So that's super helpful. We want to be able to discuss and hear from folks what will be helpful to hear. Like, we want the agency partners and CARB and Air District to ask our committee members what is helpful. How can we be partners in keeping the momentum going, to keep the successes going? And then the second part of the discussion will be thinking about the strategies that haven't had as much momentum in the last 12 months. What are the things that have impeded progress? And are there any ideas that the community can identify to help remove some of these impediments? Go to the next slide. So now we're going to take a few minutes, and this is going to be like your short little elevator pitch for each of our guests. We're going to give you, a minute or less to share some of your notable progress. Once that happens for all the air district, CARB, and then the partner agencies, we'll go into our small groups. We'll discuss those items with notable progress. People can ask questions and just be curious. And then we'll switch and talk about the strategies, the second set of strategies, the ones that have had less momentum. So I'm just going to go down the list here. So Alona or Karen from Strategic Incentives Division, do you want your 1 minute of fame right now?
Oh, only a minute. Hi, everyone. My name is Alona Davis, and I'm here also with Karen Shkolnick, and we're representing the incentives team at the Air District that works on programs that reduce emissions, mostly from heavy duty mobile equipment, but other programs as well. And so I guess my quick statement of successes is that we've had a lot of success funding projects that reduce diesel emissions in West Oakland. And a couple of those include funding some zero emission yard trucks at the port. It's exciting when we go to zero emission because that technology is new. And then we've also had, tugboat projects come in recently that we are working on evaluating now. So we're looking to see some other tugboats that we've funded in the past actually come into operation within this year. And so that's pretty exciting. And then one other success is, we worked with CARB on updating guideline requirements for some of around zero emission infrastructure and also around zero emission trucks. That'll allow us to have more effective incentive programs in the future for these categories. So we're excited to start moving forward with those projects. And we have a new program that just opened in July for infrastructure for electric charging stations for heavy and medium duty equipment. So very excited to see where that goes and what kind of projects that will bring us.
Great, thank you. And for others to, I know you guys all have more than 1 minute of successes to share. So if you want to just give in the groups, I'm available to give you more detail about XYZ. That could be a good format moving forward. So Song, I think you're here from Assessment, Inventory, and Modeling.
Yeah, hi, good evening. My name is Song Bai. I'm the manager of the emissions inventory team in the Assessment, Inventory, and Modeling division. Steve cannot join us today. He probably attended other meetings in the past. So our team is focusing on the technical support. So we have led the community emissions inventory and exposure modeling for the West Oakland community action plan. So one thing I just really quick to highlight that kind of share the notable progress or what I feel like really happy and also representing the team is we are the technical people here to support you and support the community to understand and assess the strategies in terms of emissions reduction and exposure impacts. And our supporting role hopefully will actually help you better understand and provide you the justification of how to understand the progress of the strategies.
Great, thank you. Victor.
Good evening, everyone. This is Victor Douglas. I'm the manager of the rural development section here at the Air District. And we're in the rural development section is responsible for drafting concepts and drafting regulatory language and support information and engaging with our stakeholders, including the affected industry, other regulatory agencies, and of course the communities that are impacted by the sources that we regulate and are attempting to further regulate. And the rural development section also drafts the regulatory language and presents that to our board of directors for their consideration and when they are looking to adopt it. And rural development also includes a lot of technical information that we glean from other divisions like Song's group and the modeling group. And we also work with our engineering folks on because they're they do the permits and know what some of the best technologies are. And we also work with our compliance and enforcement group to understand how the sources are complying or not complying with the rules that we're drafting. And that's part of the efforts of rural development to not only get additional emission reductions and set more stringent standards, but also make sure the rules are as enforceable as they can be. And with that, I'll pass it to Eric, who's one of the rural development staff members.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Victor. Yeah, I'm with the rural development team here, and I'm here today to kind of highlight some of the notable progress we've made this past year in the publishing of our fugitive dust white paper and the creation of our fugitive dust webpage. This was a direct request in further study measure number 3 of your community action plan, which called for additional research surrounding potential rulemaking opportunities to limit fugitive dust from construction activities. So I'm happy to report that we've published the white paper and we've embarked on a rule making effort. So I'll be happy to share more about that in the breakout rooms. Thank you.
Great. And Miss Margaret, I see your hand. We were going to try and wait and do questions in the small groups, unless there's something urgent that you would like to say now.
I think it.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I wish we had. Okay, are the same people that you talking to right now going to be in the breakout groups?
Yes. And everyone will get to be with every guest speaker during the 2 rounds.
All right.
Yeah. So right as you are hearing these things, you know, get your notepad out and write down your questions or things you want to hear more about. And Jiro, Randolph, can you go to the next slide? It's carb slide.
Well, good evening, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to join the conversation tonight on progress tracking of WOCAP strategies. So like many folks here, I guess I'm here representing several dozen other folks who aren't attending from the Air Resources Board. When I was here in April, back in April, I talked a bit about CARB regulatory programs, so the Air Resources Board's regulatory program development. Since I was here, you know, we had a big board meeting in April and a couple key regulations were adopted, which are also implicated in the WOCAP, namely the Advanced Clean Fleets regulation and the in-use locomotive regulation. I'm looking forward to participating in the breakout room discussions, and I'm happy to answer questions about, you know, the specifics of any of the regs, the regulations here that obviously intersects with the CARB, with the WOCAP strategies. As well, I'm here to, you know, I'm happy to be a resource if you have questions about incentive programs or context of CARB or other CARB programs. I'd be happy to, you know, help you connect the dots or try to help you find the right resources. And so, yeah, that's what I'm here for tonight. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Next slide, please, Randolph. So now we're going to hear from all of our partners, and Christy and Shawnee. I'll let you guys choose who wants to speak.
Good evening. I'm Christy Johnson-Limon, and I'm the Deputy Director working at the Office of Economic and Workforce Development. I would say, and Shawnee is also here. I think she's joined us. We're going to be in the breakout groups to give you a little bit more information about what we're doing around the Equitable Climate Action Plan that we're working in collaboration with the sustainability team at the city as part of an overall economic development and business attraction strategy. And just happy to join this group and can't wait to meet all of you in the small breakouts.
Oh, and I realized, did I forget Alan? Because I think we were updating. The slide might not have updated. Sorry, Alan, are you on? And did you want to introduce yourself?
Are you referring to Alan, me?
Yes, Alan from the Executive Office of the, yes.
Yes, so I'm Alan Abbs. I'm the Legislative Officer from the Bay Area AQMD. I don't think I have any notable progress to really talk about.
It's okay. You can take credit for everyone else's hard work. And Alicia, did you want me to allow Veronica and Suma to introduce themselves too?
Beth, I think we're good. When we get into our small groups, we can go ahead and introduce, everyone.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks. So now back to the city of Oakland. Sorry for that detour. OakDOT, we have Kathy, I think, is here.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy DeLuca, and I'm excited to be here tonight because I just started at OakDOT a few months ago, but I have been given the exciting task of managing a project in West Oakland that's really an implementation of some of the strategies in the WOCAP and the truck management plan. It's the West Oakland STEP grant, Sustainable Transportation Equity Project grant, which is funded by the California Air Resources Board. And there's a lot of components to the grant, which I can talk about: urban greening, sidewalk closures, and I'm happy to give folks details in our breakout group. We have amazing partners who are here tonight on the grant, the Environmental Indicators Project, Urban Biofilter, Oakland Parks and Rec Foundation are a partner, the Crucible. So our grant hasn't started. We've gotten the grant, but we haven't been able to implement yet. We're doing contracting. So we're on the precipice of starting. So I just wanted to kind of be here to introduce myself, let you know about the project. We're hoping to start in the fall. And I can also share, I know about a few other OakDOT successes in terms of management of implementation of some truck management strategies. So happy to talk about what I do know as well. Thank you.
Very exciting. And David Moore, welcome back.
It's always nice to be here. I just want to say that I respect and admire how these meetings are run. I'm sure it took a lot of practice, but whenever I tune in, I'm just impressed by how thoughtful and collaborative and what a long view the members are willing to contribute to. And I'm taking notes when it comes to implementing the urban forest plan, which we've been working on for a few years. It's drafted, it's going through interdepartmental review right now, and a public comment period is on the near horizon. So I'll be in a breakout room to talk a little bit more about that. And I think I skipped over saying that my position at Public Works is the senior tree supervisor, which I've held for over 5 years. And very grateful to have this group where many of the cast members I've seen in various parts of greening and urban forestry efforts, and we share a lot in common. And I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So Laura and Brandon from the port.
Hi, yes. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here again. You know that we have we have updates to share. Some are, we have these, what's interesting is that the development of these strategies have evolved over time and for that matter, and the way we implement some of these zero emission strategies doesn't always fit like line by line, but because
Sorry, excuse me, am I late to the meeting or did it just start? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
No, you on time.
Yeah, please continue.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, so in the small breakout rooms, we'll be able to share in depth and in detail about the zero emission projects that are taking place throughout the seaport. And also, if I may drop some summary sheets to help keep track of all that's going on. Summary sheets. And that's it. Brandon, would you like to add anything else?
I have a quick question.
We're waiting to the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, are y'all doing questions at the end?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Miss Margaret Gordon.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't have anything else to add. Thanks, Laura.
And there was a bunch of people who just
Yeah.
joined. So if you could put the sign-in sheet in the chat, Randolph, and
I will.
Great. Let's see, where are we? Lily from OEHA.
Yes, thank you everyone for inviting me today. I am a community air protection toxicologist that works for OEHA to address the community health concerns. And so the two measures that are assigned to OEHA, internally, we've been talking about how to address them because they are somewhat similar to the request of other communities. And so for better fleshing out some of the deliverables, if you will, we can talk about that in the breakout room a little bit. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Awesome. And Kevin or Cameron?
Yeah, this is Kevin Crusoe. Cameron's not able to make it tonight. So I work with Caltrans. I'm with the Office of Hazardous Waste, Air Quality, Noise, and Paleontology. And we have a couple of strategies that we are working on, a couple of research projects, and we'll talk about them in more detail in the breakout rooms.
Great. That was all the guests to introduce. And we are now going to be moving into the breakout rooms.
And actually, Nicole wanted to say a few words just to give some context around the strategies.
Yeah, so the air plan has 89 strategies, okay, including 12 further study measures and enforcement measures, and we've seen plenty of progress, and that's definitely a testament to the WOCAP steering committee specifically. So please use this time in the breakout rooms to ask how, right, we can speed up completion, right? Is there an expected timeline? These are good things to know, right? 90% of our strategies are started, which is amazing. What does that actually mean? That's a good question, and that's something for us to further explore, but that's an opportunity now for you guys to ask exactly what that is. And the biggest question is, what do agencies, right, you have folks' ears now, what do they need from us to move West Oakland toward air quality parity, right? So how can we be helpful in this process? And we have all the right people in these breakout rooms, so let's ask the right questions.
Hello. Thanks for all of your patience. We're just a few minutes over, but we did want to close out those conversations. I know that like the ones that I was in, very lively, and we wanted to give a little bit of time just to discuss the couple of agenda items. There's going to be a survey link coming. I don't know if we want to ask a survey how this particular meeting went, but you're going to get a survey link anyway.
We want to hear it all. We want
Yeah,
to hear it all.
exactly. We could take it. We're grown up. So again, thanks for your patience. But we also want to give the West Oakland Environmental Indicators Project and meet Panchal, who is the community engagement coordinator, to just discuss where we are on the planning for a town hall meeting.
Thanks, Randolph. I won't take much of your time, everybody. Just a few little updates on about the town hall. So we'll be having we kind of decided on a date of like doing November 4th as the town hall. So the steering committee meeting, which will be happening in November, will be replaced with the town hall, just to make sure, like, I just want to make sure we know that again. And some of the objectives which we kind of just came across or kind of decided on was to make sure that we introduce people to WOCAP within our community of West Oakland, and also give them the status update on what the strategies are going to be. And I just want to kind of close with saying that we're also having another steering committee participation happening, which is next week on August 8th. We're going to be doing a planning lunch at the WOCAP office. So we would really want the steering committee members to kind of come together, help us plan, also help us in support with some of the outreach efforts, which we may be like kind of developing in the future. And it could be in terms of flyers, emails, social media, or maybe even talking to your neighbors who live in West Oakland. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. And yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks, Meet. So again, the first link or the last link that one of the last ones that I sent was a survey for this meeting. Also sent the sign-in sheets for anybody who did not get an opportunity to sign in. Please do that. And before we close, we'll also send some of the links if from some of the other meeting materials if you didn't get it. And with that, we are going to close for our. I just want to say thanks to our our meeting team as we've been trying to deal with some of these challenges. That's one. But for our folks at EIP or the district, do you have any parting words?
No, I thank everyone for participating, for toughing it out through a couple of problematic moments there, and we continue to work to make these meetings productive for all of you. And I hope that's working out, that it feels productive to have these meetings.
Great, thanks, Brian. Miss Margaret, any parting words?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
There you are.
Good night.
Great. We'll see you all next month.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.